Hey everybody, and welcome on back to Minecraft. My name is fWhip, and today we are going to be building up an entire Nordic castle right in here, and I am super excited for it. I've been getting a lot of work done in the meantime by getting all of our roadways for the rest of this village planned out and finished up here, and just kind of getting those little things worked out inside the last episode. However, let's grab some rockets here. We came through here and messed with bees for the very first time in this world by building up a Nordic styled meadery type thing with a very inefficient honey farm inside of it. But we got some bees that are just chilling out here. They seem to be getting stuck on the trapdoors and living all over the place, and they just kind of wandered off. Oh no, they're still here. A few of them are still here, but most of them just kind of wandered off. There's a little redstone farm. If we flick this lever, opens. Oh my gosh, all the bees are getting out. Well, that's where all my bees were. Okay, we're gonna leave them here to do their thing, and we're coming back up here, and we're gonna be doing some building today. I need to figure out a plan for this one, and I've been recently, while I was working on the roads, I realized that I kind of didn't really like how we had the base of these cliffs started. It just kind of felt flat going into it and then mountain out of nowhere. So I started piling up a lot more of this grassy stuff along the edges, and I really like that look of it. So I'm going to try and keep doing that moving forwards. But for this guy right here, general ideas, I want to bring the stone out a little bit further and create like a high-rise point and have the castle on top of that, and then a big old archway over this one, and then we're going to be building a tower up on that side, and then I want to somehow get a pathway so they can kind of walk their way up to the top of the cliffs, and then maybe we can throw like a little tiny outpost or something on top of some area up here. Who really knows? We'll figure that out as we're getting throughout this whole thing, but let me get a plan laid down and we'll get moving forwards. Well, apparently my head is on backwards because we've been going a little crazy here. Welcome on back to my mess. We are currently in my camera account so we can take a look at this thing from above, because I think it's just gonna be a million times easier to explain what's going on here. So at the front here, you can see we built a little stone cliff. Apparently it can't be a fWhip video without a stone cliff. That's gonna be bringing us up like a little like rampart area here. It's just gonna smooth its way up. These little dotted lines right there, the little dots you see, is gonna be the gatehouse. We're gonna have a tower on this side. There'll be a tower on the far side. We're gonna have a large great hall area that's gonna be coming all the way back here. Also, this entire thing's gonna be raised up. We're gonna have that stone cliff going all the way around here, probably much higher than the 4 or 5 blocks that is on there. Then we have a big old tower on the back corner here. This middle hall area, you can see this big square part that we have right in here. That's 13 by 13. And then we have this one over here that's 7 long by like 11 or something like that. And then this one's 5 by I don't know how many long. And those are all going to be raised up very high into the sky. I want it to be breaching like the snow up here. So I want this castle to be pretty dang tall. We got a bunch of towers that we're going to have on the different corners here. I got to figure out what this little entry walkway area is right here. I wanted to originally have the doorway back into this area, but we'll see if we can make that work just because of how narrow it is inside of this one. We might turn this front wall area. This is our only real wall. It's not really a building. We could turn that into just some trapdoors, because I don't think it's going to need to be very reinforced. And then it could give us another like 3/4 block width, and I think that might be exactly what we need. But I'm going to spend a little bit of time getting our base layer in here. How I would like to build this one up is section by section. So I'm going to be focusing on these front towers, this pathway, and probably this part of the structure leading through the gate first, and we'll just kind of build it as we go. I just want to get this base layer down here, then add the height to it as we're moving throughout it, because I think it's going to get pretty crazy, and so I think step by step is the way to go here. After many an hour, the front of this one is being worked on. It's still very much a work in progress here, but I'm making a lot of work adding in some snow here in the front. I think I'm going to add like a few tree stumps along this side, then fill in a lot of this area here with some trees, and I think that'll be a pretty good front to it here. This tower is basically a clone of that one that you see way off in the distance there. I wanted to make sure that I had a way to get that thing working here, and our gate is very simple. It's just a wooden door for the time being. I think I need to fix those so they're facing the other way. And then I've been working on our retaining wall out here. As I mentioned, I wanted to use just some trapdoors to make this space feel much larger, and instead of the blocks being filled all the way in, and so like this is the only walkable area, it looks like we have 3 blocks, which is much better for me. And it's a pretty easy way to see over the top here. You can kind of move your way around, and it's got a nice little door to get ourselves in here. Does not go down any further at this point in time. You can come up here, get on top of this gate, and then right now there's no real way to get right back down in here without crouching, so that's still in the works. But coming up here to the top, we get a very, very cool view of the top of this tower. I haven't detailed too much of this out besides throwing a campfire in here. Previously in Minecraft, apparently you could use flint and steel on top of a hopper and it would light a fire up like we have in that little red fire right there above my crosshair. And it doesn't work anymore, so we had to use a campfire here, which is okay. Like, that's fine. I think it still gives that glow that I was looking for, so that's pretty solid. But that's kind of where we're at for now with this one. I'm having a lot of fun just kind of building on myself and bringing y'all back in for some more of the detail work and kind of just showcasing what we did. So I think we're going to keep moving forward with that one, and I'm going to get a little bit more stuff done on this guy. I'm trying to think of a way we can make this front more interesting. So if you have any ideas, please be sure to let me know in the comments. I'm thinking maybe while we're here, we can bring ourselves all the way up to the top, and I'm thinking some trapdoors, like around this area here, might actually help us out. So if we just do like a ring of trapdoors here, sorry, there's a little sound above. Upstairs neighbor, unfortunately, is having a little bit of a leaking issue due to some crazy rainfall here in Seattle right now. Our streets are completely flooded outside of my apartment. Like, you can't walk outside right now without getting absolutely drenched. My husky that loves all kind of weather would prefer to run around in the rain right now. If I pick up his leash to take him outside, he runs away from me and jumps in on top of my bed. And it's just like, no, I'm gonna stay in here for now. Thanks, though. Just coming down here after a second spruce gathering mission because this whole castle is getting very, very large. And I don't think we'll need much more. I gathered a bunch of it. We've got a bunch more back here as well. And as you can see, it's growing. The castle has grown a lot since the last time we were here, and I didn't realize it was nighttime. I probably should have waited to start recording. But I gathered up all this spruce wood right here, and then this shulker box is refilled as well. So we've got a bunch of stuff to work with. It's getting there. The project has been super fun to work on. I've been slowly adding in some more details. I need to start adding in like more of those types of window structures to break up the big brown concrete that I have onto this roof. I decided to make one of the main ones being brown concrete, and the other main one right now is currently at the hay blocks, because I went and found a shulker box of those that we had a bunch of hay blocks back over in Papyrus. So I'm using that stuff, but here you can see all the brown concrete coming in. Added in some stripped dark oak log in here as well. And it's looking pretty fantastic. I got to add on the tops of those, and ooh, you know what? I totally forgot about this. I've been using those as the top marker for like the super fancy structure. So I think we need to go gather up some more quartz and make those things, those dragon structures there happen again. I think having multiple of them could really tie it in instead of just randomly on top of the feast hall. And another thing, I need to get those cupolas, I think they're called, that allows the hot air to escape out of the top. So that's a few things I need to be working on bringing in here next. But as you can see, it's the project's getting pretty big. I'm at about hour 4 right now, and I've lit up the inside. I decided to let some of the mountain stay coming through the wall back here because I think it gives a really cool look to it. And then these areas are actually going to be opening up into like a different, this is an entrance or a tower. That's part of the arch that was creating this one. So this is actually an outside wall. And then we have this area right here with a little pathway to get back in here. Then you can walk around here, see out the front gate, or see out the front side, that little tower that we had on that structure. I actually don't think I showed you all this one. We've got this little thing up here where you can look around. I need to replace those. I built this tower second. I just need to get around to fitting those ones in here. But I think it's pretty cool. Let me know what ideas you all have for interior stuff, because I think next episode is when we're actually going to be focusing on the interior of this one. I would love to get the exterior fully finished up in this episode just so we can have some stuff. But as you can see, I've been adding a few windows in here. That's that second tower I was talking about. Just a very short and skinny roof. And I need to get... I missed a stair up there, apparently. Right here. All right. We got that one fixed up there. That's going to be pretty good. And if you hold shift while you're going down that, you'll fall fast enough where you can just basically click and click and click. And you'll break yourself down and won't take too much damage. So that one, that's that front face right there. I like it. I think this is a really cool wooden castle design. So I'm going to keep working on this one. I'm actually playing with the idea of bringing those hay bales in for the rest of the roof. I kind of like the lighter color that it brings in throughout here. I think it gives a much more interesting detail to this one. But I also kind of like it just being the one structure. I am planning on adding in another floor to this big guy right here, which is why I haven't detailed the top or anything of it yet. So adding another floor coming out of it, just sticking up there. Then we can do the tiny little air vent on top of that one. It is that time in the video here, my friends. If y'all are enjoying this Nordic Castle build we got going on today, please be sure to hit that like button down below on the video. Helps me out a heck of a lot with all of your support and everything. We are able to keep continuing what we're doing here. Be sure to click that subscribe button if you're enjoying the video so far. But let's get back to it. I'm currently in the progress over here of adding in our final dragon head that I want to be at, like, showcasing in this area. We're gonna have 3 of them. So we have the ones up there, and we're getting these little guys down here as well, or not little, they're the exact same size. And I think I can actually just squeeze you right there and like that. Perfect. This one's gonna be kind of stuck in here. It's not gonna make too much, it's not gonna have too much room on either side of it, but I think that's okay. We're getting kind of crammed for space on this stuff, but I think it's really cool how everything in here is really starting to just raise itself up high into the sky and very much appearing to be stacked on top of each other, which I really like. We'll take a look at it in just a moment here, but I want to quickly just get all these bits in here. I kind of want to change what's down here to away from being this oak log that or this oak wood that we can see right now. So I'm thinking if we just come through here, not with an axe, or not with a pickaxe, but instead with one of these guys and just do a little bit of action right there. That'll help to darken it and make it feel a little bit more completed, I'm hoping. But taking a look over here into the sky, all the dragon heads are in, so we got those 3 in there, and I think it adds a cool white highlight to it, especially this view. I know it's going to be late right here, but I think this view is going to be very cool of our village now. Look at that thing just ominously in the background of this whole area. I love that view that we're getting in here. I think it's working out really well. I still need to add a fireplace into that top final tower in the back there, but originally I'd wanted to add another central, like, longhouse structure along the top, kind of like how we have on the feast hall down here. But I think from the viewpoint where we're at right now, it honestly looks better without it. Now, actually, let's give it a shot. Let's see what we can do up there. Up on the top right now, I really want to make that tower appear to be our largest structure. But if we take 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7, so we have 7 wide across here. And if we bring down some of our spruce logs and maybe simply just do something like this, and then it would kind of bend into the corner of that structure, just letting that one be the bigger, like, more dominant structure. So we'll let that keep its shape over there. But I think that could actually help us with just a little something, maybe even at this height right here. And then we take just some dark oak stairs. I know this is really bringing a lot of these roof structures here together. I think that right there, yep, that'll break it up perfectly. And then just step up 1 height at a time until we get to that being the middle. And then we can just simply come in here like this. And I think that kind of helps them flow into each other a little bit better there, to be honest. I think that might actually be a good idea, because that'll give us a lot of extra room for what we can do up here. And this can be our area for how all of the heat is getting out of the structure. I think that could be pretty good for us. I'm out of dark oak stairs though, but I think we do that, throw in some nice detail bits on the corners of these. That should look pretty good. Now I'm looking at it though, I think just for the sake of it being more completed from the outside, we probably want to just throw that in there, even if it's just a temporary thing. May seem like to you all that this video has went by super fast, and we are only at 12 minutes now, but I am currently on hour 7 of building this project, because I keep changing things. I keep going back on what I'm thinking. So originally we had this strip dark oak up there, and I just replaced it with dark oak itself, and I gotta restructure our pathway through here. It's gotten a little cramped back in here, and bucket of tropical fish, those are pretty nice. I always love looking at what fish they sell, or whatever their last item is that they might be selling, just because I feel like that's the cool stuff. I am gonna, however, not be able to get the trees done today, just because, you know, time and everything like that. We've got a bunch of cool stuff going on up here. The vent is now fully in place. I used a bunch of oak trapdoors so you can kind of see through it still. It looks like a lot of air would be able to move through these areas, and that's also kind of the detail bit that I was using down here. I want to use the brand new spruce slabs that we have in the pack, where if you double stack spruce slabs, they're going to be straight vertical ones instead of the horizontal planks. And I feel like that down here on the base, instead of having all of just the regular planks like what we had here, I think it's going to give it a lot more detail of having crisscrossing lines, because right now we have the logs that are going up and down, but everything else was going side to side. So I think adding these things down at the base here is actually going to help to break up that consistent pattern of that, and it should give a little bit more interest to everything in here too as well. So it's little details like this that I keep going through and replacing, trying again, and just exploring so many different options that we have. but I do want to take a quick look back from the tower where we were looking a little bit ago and see what the view looks like from now, because I've not touched this at all. Next thing though, if the castle's looking good at this point, I think we call it good for the castle today, and then we got to build our watchtower and the gateway or archway that's going to be going over that little valley that we were just talking about recreating. We're bringing the FOV down with our good old Optifine zoom action that we have going on here. That's so cool looking. I love how stacked everything looks. I think that's a very cool one, and once we get like another tower built up kind of off of here, I think it's going to be a pretty low one, maybe a little bit like this height here, that drumline height, or maybe one of these shorter ones. I think it's going to be pretty cool, and then we'll work on that archway as well. I kind of forgot about that we we're going to be doing that, but it's definitely something I want to get done today, so time to get back to it. Walking up this street just got to be about a million times better over the course of today's episode. Just check this out as you slowly start to see the castle appearing as we're walking up throughout this area. And remember, we're going to be building a bunch of stuff throughout here. And it's just so cool as we keep like growing ourselves or moving our way up the hill and growing our village. It's just, I love the slope that we're building on here. So it's not like that typical flat Minecraft village that you see, or where there's like maybe 5-6 blocks of variation to it. We get so much in here. It's probably like a 30 block difference between all the way down there to all the way up here. I've been slowly working on this area here and just getting some things done with it. I've got kind of an interesting idea for it. I want to show you all the pathway that we can get through to up there real fast, and just kind of revisiting the rest of this because I know we've been flying through it. So I want to give you all a few more glimpses of everything that we have going on throughout here. So we coming through the main gate, and then coming up here, we now have a staircase that'll get you to the top of this tower. You can jump out this door and it puts you out on our little tiny diagonal bridge here, which has a small storage room at the front of this. I guess I forgot to put a door on it. Let's go ahead and fix that one here real fast. So many blocks to be in place. I guess I can't even think of what I need to be doing anymore. Then you can come all the way up here, and we got a nice little campfire area, and currently it just opens into the voided nothingness back here, because I want to, instead of creating that pathway that we talked about, I think it'd be cool to create a little bit of a cave system that spits you out like up into this area, because I felt like the pathway would really interrupt our mountains. So I was thinking we could come up here and just kind of pick a random point. Like I was thinking this would be a cool area to spit out like the mouth of a cave, so we can just cut back into here and bring ourselves out a few blocks with what we had, and then you can kind of see that open point right there. So we need to figure out a cave system that won't interact with these too much, but it'll give us from down there all the way up here. So I think it's time to do some more stonework. I need to go pick up some more of that stuff, and I don't want to make this one look like a mine too much. I really want to make this one look more like a natural cave that they found. I feel as though a direct little path that went like straight from here up to there was rather boring, so I decided to bring it out way off to this side. I got the slabs and stairs along the bottom here to help mob proof it while we were working on the thing, but I think this like cool winding cave tunnel path that we have here is really going to make it pretty interesting as we're kind of moving our way up, and then it just spits you out right here for now. And I'll darken this up, and I'll probably like raise this up a half slab or lower it a half slab so it's all mob proof at the front, so we can have it be super dark, and then the very, very occasional torch stuck in the wall or lantern or something is going to really help with the atmosphere of this cave versus just kind of leaving it as is. I want it to be very skinny though, and as we're kind of working throughout and building the rest of it, we'll make a few little outcropping pockets that'll make it a little bit larger. But for the most part, it's just going to be like a small tunnel of a cave or source to get through there. I know we're kind of going back and forth on what we're calling it, but it should be pretty dang cool once it's all the way completed. Okay, with just the zombie down here, I think, as far as I could see. A bit of a progress update here on the cave, as I wanted to point out how we're making this more unique as you're walking through it instead of just a boring old tunnel. So you can see a lot of the areas here are actually raised up to the slab. These are technically the only spawnable spaces in here, so we got a nice little torch. And then it gets very, very dark up in these areas, and I think that's actually spawnable too. Now I'm looking at it. Yeah, that was. Okay, so we're fixing that one. You come up here, it gets very dark, but all of these down here are stairs or slabs or stuff that can't spawn. And we keep moving throughout these darker areas. And what I like adding in on these is that there's going to be some of these dark patches off to the side, like where this is all mob spawn proof. So nobody's going to really be popping up on us when we're over in this area. That should be totally fine. But a bunch of little pockets off to the side and little ways that instead of just walking up another straight line or something, you got to kind of cut around a corner, go up a few blocks at once, and it just makes it a little bit more interesting as you're walking throughout. So I've just kind of been following around this area and creating some flat lines like this and just cutting back into them a little bit further, making it skinnier or wider kind of as I'm going. And that's the general game plan for this whole one here. And a lot of coming back on top of this And of course, throwing in a bunch of slabs here so that it becomes a little bit more mob-proof. We can save ourselves some trouble of some skeleton sounds when we're above, and hopefully no creepers that somehow see through a block and explode on us. And there we have it, folks. The cave system's now finished up, which we're going to be checking up. Our castle exterior is completely finished up here as well, and I am so happy with everything we were able to get done in today's episode. It is absolutely fantastic, and I can't wait to turn it into that lovely, lovely naturified forest that we have going on with everything else here. I think it's going to be looking really, really cool here, and I just made it back from the gold farm. Hopefully we didn't die, but we made it through. So quick run through of this little tunnel area that we made up here. I decided to leave the camp on the top for now. I just kind of running out of time for this one. It's very late into the evening right now for what I normally like to do, but anyways, we're coming through here. You can see a few torches dotted along the way, and this one we actually need to move up to that side, and you'll just kind of wander through and see a few openings like this throughout here, and it's looking pretty good. It's a lot of winding tunnels that really cut off your vision as you're walking throughout. Some areas get super dark like this one, but totally safe to walk through because of our good old slabs, and then it spits you out right back down here. And I think that's going to be a great way for us to have a non-elytra method to get up to the top of the mountain. If we accidentally take a spill up there and die and lose all our stuff, we need to have an easy way to get up to the top of that one. But anyways, that's going to do it for today's episode. Please be sure to hit that like button if you did enjoy. Any ideas you have for adding in to our castle interior or things that we just absolutely have to include in this area, please be sure to let me know down in the comments below. Be sure to subscribe if you're brand new, and I'll be catching you on the flip side.